So good evening and welcome to the Donny Chaingang with me, Matt Payne. We're live here in a very cold studio. See this hat? This is a top quality gritty hat. It is the business. And it's the only thing that is stopping me from disappearing off into a little huddled ice cube because it is Baltic in the studio today here. So it's Rev Jolly Hoodie, gritty hat on. Big thank you to Caroline, to Neil and all the gang. It's not the best looking hat on me, I have to say, but I'm not very good with hats, as you can tell. I need to just do a little bit of tidying up. There we go. But it's on there. It's on my head. And more importantly, it's giving me a big lug holes warm. So welcome. It's the last Donny Chaingang of February. How amazing is that? That we have reached the very last one. I can't quite believe that we've hit this point in time so quickly. Time flies, particularly as you get older. For the youngsters out there, you will find out. I never used to believe it, but it's true. Now, we are going to be bringing you the show all the way through the week. Again, here at Full Speed Events. We've got the Donny Chaingang today. We've got the WOW DCG tomorrow. Women's Only Wednesday. What other day would it be? And then we've got another Donny Chaingang on Thursday. And this is a reminder for the members of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, who keep the show on the road. One, we love you to bits, guys. Absolutely. Thank you so much for your support. Without you, the show just doesn't happen. But importantly, if you're a member for the month and you were a member in February and you haven't yet renewed for March, please do so by tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Because if you do that, it'll be really helpful. Because then the system automatically will send you the link on Thursday for Thursday's ride. It's brilliant, isn't it? Technology, love it when it works. Where it doesn't work is when we get a whole load of late entries, one after the other, after the other, after the other. So if you enter after 5 o'clock on Wednesday, guys, and you're a member, please join the ride, register to join the ride. In addition, as well as joining for the month. So please, guys, if you haven't already done so, do it before Wednesday. If you do it after Wednesday at 5 o'clock when the email goes out to everybody, which is our next email for members, which will have all of Thursday's links and details in there, then, guys, please remember to register as well, as because we won't be able to send out all sorts of extra emails. So thank you very much to everyone who's done it. I noticed that Simon Runnett has done it, a.k.a. Sean, a.k.a. Simon. So please, guys, if you can, please make sure you renew in advance. This is the last Continental ride of Continental month supported by them, and all of the people who look after our riders. Well, they're just up there. You can see 1080, OTE, Gritty, Continental, Velskin, Halo, and Nonners, who look after our riders, who are members of the DCG gang. And without them, like I say, just wouldn't happen. We just wouldn't be able to put the time in that keeps the show on the road, that keeps the rides coming in, that keeps Russ in and riding. So a massive thank you to them. And if you're riding and you don't donate, please, guys, make sure you say thank you to the guys who do, because we appreciate not everybody is in a position to be able to donate to keep the show rolling. But those people who do, they are keeping you in a ride. It's straightforward, so please do say thank you to them. Now, let's show you where we're heading, because we've got a very busy show tonight. We are heading out on to the Three Village Loop. This is 46.0 kilometres. I'll repeat that, 46.0k. We have a leading of 2.4k from the pen to the start. We then have 4 laps of 10.5k. That means that we will finish the whole thing in time. In theory, is going to be at 44.4. Don't believe the 44.0 up there. It's going to be 44.4. Because I couldn't add up because it was so cold. In fact, do you know what we can do? This is the wonders of modern technology. That if I get this right, which isn't necessarily going to happen, we can actually do a little bit of maths. It's going to be in and done. So we are going to do 42. We're going to be at 44.4k. So 44 is going to be the total. It'll be 44.9. Is that correct? Let's do some quick maths. 10.5 times 4 is 42. Plus 2.4 is 2.4. So it's going to be 44 point. You ready for this? It's amazing, this bit. Watch. 4. Which means that the warm down will be 1.6k. And not 21.6. It would help if I could type as well, wouldn't it? That would be a good thing. It would seem as how we really, really ought to have done this slightly earlier. I reckon to have checked this as well, but the cold is absolutely bitter here. There we go, that makes more sense. The elevation is right, 373 metres. And, of course, it is the one and only Russ Downing who's going to be leading us out. Fonzie himself, the man in charge, Bike Flex, as well as Espresso. And if you're a member of the Donny Chaingang, watch out for details. Make sure you go onto the Bike Flex site and get yourself on there. If in doubt, message Russ will tell you all about it. Now, the man who's going to be sweeping up after him is going to be Jason Stevens. He's our red beacon, the man who is charged with trying to keep everybody together at the back, look after those people who are dropped, and make sure everybody's on. This is going to be tough because, and this is why we love the Velo Viewer graphics so much, to add them to the maps from Swift Hacks. This is why, because the 3 village loop is not even close to flat. From the start of the countryside sprint, we work our way through and climb our way up in towards the village. And you can see that we are essentially climbing all the way to 7k. And then, do you know what we do? We just turn around and drop straight back down again. It is incredibly lumpy, this loop. So be prepared, ladies and gents. If you are a rider who is going to be riding the Donny Chaingang tonight, it's going to be a bumpy one. So, a reminder, our riders, you're going to be setting off. You need to stay around the yellow beacon, particularly as you come to the summit at that 7k marker once we go out on to the course. Russ is your leader in the yellow beacon role. As normal, he sets the pace, controls the pace, and it's really simple. The golden rule is stay around yellow all the way until the go, go, go. At that point, when Russ says, go, 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 that's your cue to go. And do whatever you want. You can poodle to the finish. You can rip it all up. You can knock chunks out of each other. You can try and take each other into the red zone more times than I've had hot dinners in the last... Oh, no, I've had 2 today because it's so blooming cold. Big thank you to Emma for that. And got to say a big thanks to everybody who's been messaging us. We have been very, very busy with not just being here in the French studios, but we've also got some major contracts on the go. So let's dive on to the ride. Our riders heading out and away. Let's watch these riders and make sure everybody heads out when they should do. I think Finn Davis just making his way onto the back of the group. Remember, we're going to be giving away 3 sets, not 1, not 2, but 3 sets of tyres. Brand new model tyres. They are Grand Prix 5000 tubeless ready, for those of you who like the sticky stuff inside your tyres, instead of an inner tube, so it's tubeless ready. And just as importantly, if not more so, they are a fast rolling, heavier duty tyre than the 5000, but they are lighter than your Continental 4 Seasons. So if you are heading out on the roads, you want to go onto your Chaingang, they're perfect for a Chaingang. If you're heading out on to the Donny Chaingang, absolutely spot on for that. Now, Finley Hudson looks to be the last rider out, just making his way up towards the back. We're going to just jump in with our lonely avatar. Timothy just washing his hair there. And in fact, here we go. There are well over 100 riders on the Chaingang. So it does mean if you are joining and you are more than 30 seconds down, Mr. Potts, sir, I would do a rejoin very quickly indeed, because you will find you're not going to get on. I think Jamie as well, Jamie Harper is currently 16 seconds off, so quite a number of riders off the back, but with over 100 riders. A quick reminder, there are over 100 riders. You do need to keep your eyes open, because we are going to keep on jumping back to try and make sure we get in with those last riders. You're not going to see the front, you're not going to see the back. You will see our beacons, At the moment, it looks like it is Mr. Harper who is coming into the village. Remember, this the lead in towards the lap line. The lap line is the country sprint line. That's where we'll be taking our start and finish of our laps. 4 laps on the way in and round there. So just left-hand turn, just looking to see if this gap is coming down. And the answer to that is going to be no, it isn't. So no matter what Mr. Harper's doing, he's doing 2.7 watts per kilo off the back and struggling time-wise. Andy Keyworth also doing the same. There are some big old gaps behind our yellow beacon. So Russ in yellow just sitting at the back of the group. We haven't all got out in one piece or even close. So please, guys, if you are on the front, ease off, guys. We've got lots of riders who are currently sitting 25 seconds down on the back of the budge and currently 15 seconds down on the back of the red beacon, even though they are fairly pushing on. A quick reminder, there is a 30-minute late join. If in doubt, do the late join now. Neil from the crosscast from Gritty on here. Our riders at the moment well and truly spread out. We haven't even hit the start of the laps. And it looks like the bus is having to do a lot of work. Our red beacon having to go mad. An early bus, yeah. It is, Jason, the earliest bus on record. We haven't even made it to the laps themselves. And we are having to get a bus going. Andy Keyworth at the moment having to do 4 watts per kilo here just to try and get on the bus. It is absolutely mad. Already tonight. Not sure what happened to Let's All Get Round Yellow, but it looks like it's not. Maybe it's all just ride and do what you want. I don't know. What do I know? I'm just sat in the studio talking. I don't have to do the ride. That green banner, by the way, that's the start-finish line. Yeah, today's randomness. So at the moment, big old gaps, 10 seconds from Keyworth to the red. So it looks like Jesse's just going to drop back for Andy. The gap, 25 seconds to the back of the bunch. The group struck out in one long line. So it looks like the entire front of the gang absolutely rocketing along. Clearly can't see what the back is doing. So the rider's underway, the rider's out and motoring on. We're going to keep a check on how our riders are doing. It certainly looks at the moment like nicely out and away at the front and the back, having to do a lot of work to try and keep the world together. We're going to just try and give our Zwift a little bit of a boot. Just so that it decides it's going to come back and play ball, and hopefully you're going to get some background noise. We will see. Well, looks like Russ has gone for the Muppet phrase before I have. That's almost a record. Doesn't often happen, that, believe me. We will have a little check, but looks like Zwift's latest update giving us 0 sound, which is very handy of it. Thank you very much. This is what happens when you run about 15 different systems simultaneously on here. So the group absolutely smashed to pieces. It looks like the gang not regrouping yet. We're currently on a bit of a descent, so that is going to make life even more difficult. Now starting up on to the climb, we're going to take a little bit of a run back to catch up with the back here, and it looks like the guys at the back doing what is 3 watts per kilo. Neil from the crosscast doing 4 watts per kilo. Tom Haggard doing 4 watts per kilo, not getting in touch with the front of the group at the moment. So definitely all over the road. We'll keep following our red beacon at the moment. and give a good indication. Currently, the last riders on the road. I think everybody else having done a rejoin and jump back in, but the chase coming from Jason Stevens and Andy Keyworth at the moment. So it looks like Neil has managed to make his way on. Jamie Harper is still a good 7 seconds off the back. And the group is still battling to get themselves back in. So now making our way in around the twists and turns, bring us in to town on this long ascent. Steadily making our way up and through, looking pretty good at the moment. We're going to just keep a check on those riders, and it looks like we have managed to find ourselves some Zwift sounds as well on the way through, which is even better. It means hopefully you guys are getting some Zwift noises too. So our riders on the way back. The red just about managing to make contact with the back of the group. Currently 5k in. So the gang's starting to come back together again. The helicopter shot not needed at this stage. You can just see that long train of riders zigzagging its way through town. Great shot, actually, as you go up and over the top of the riders. And you can see them working their way through this fantastic world here in Mercury Islands. The whole snake zigzagging its way in and through. Two pillars of light, yellow beacon, Russ down in the red beacon. Jason Stevens, one of our regular riders. Now, the gang looks like it's just about all got itself back together again. And that must mean it's got to be time for us to do something very, very important indeed, and that is to look after our riders who are members of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. We have 3 more sets, the final 3 sets of tyres to give away, and it is one rider, one prize, so you can't win multiple sets. Now, we already have a win for Keith Richardson and Tim Cooper. That was on the show on Thursday. We are going to move across to our giveaway screen, and look at that, the number generator is rolling. So you all know how this works surely by now. Essentially, the number generator, there is a number allocated to each of the members. There are 49 members of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. Those 49 riders all have a number allocated to them. And guess what? When we press stop, one of those numbers will come up, and that will be allocated, and that will be one of our riders. So we are doing this in alphabetical surname order for the Continental draw. So it's Alan James, who's going to be our first rider. And if you're a W, like Wilson Steve, you're going to be down the other end. So let's see what number it's going to stop on. Who is going to win the Continental tyres? Remember, there are three sets to go tonight, so plenty to give away. Not yet released to the public, brand spanking new and available in tan wall or in black. And we have the very first sets, and they're going to be going to members of the DCG gang. And the next person who's going to get some is number 44. That is Richard Samuel. Dick Samuel is going to be our next rider who's going to get some. So Mr. Samuel is going to be our 3rd winner. Well done to Richard. So Richard Samuel. Dick, you are our next winner on the DCG gang. You are our next rider who has won a set of Conti tyres And it's going to be 2 pairs of Continental bottles as well. And that means that you are going to be getting those when we've done all of the draw. We'll notify our winners of how they can claim their prizes. And that means if you want to jump in and join, then guys, make sure you get signed up nice and early. So the gang on the way up, we've got one of our winners already. So Mr. Small is already the winner. So we have Mr. Small, we have Mr. Richardson, as well as Mr. Cooper. So well done, guys. That's 3 out of the 5 sets done. So interesting that Chris Cohen said he could intercept the postman. Well, that is if it's not hand delivered. You never ever know with the team at the Continental. Shelley and Co are going to be looking after our road. It's good to see Jim Flynn nicely tucked in with the group here. New rubber, brand spanking, yet to be released to the public. Grand Prix 5000. Super fast tyres, lovely tyres to ride, really supple, really grippy. Lovely to actually ride on nice roads. But this is a slight heavy duty version, which means that you can ride them around the roads in the UK and around Doncaster as well. Because it does need something a little bit more durable a lot of the time. So, the ride is well underway. Currently 12 minutes. Let's have a look. 12:42 on the clocks for Neil. 12:54 Mark Chamberlain. Mr. Chamberlain, I'm hoping you were there from the word go. 6.9k in here. And a real mix of riders. 113 riders. You can tell it's been snowing in the UK. And it's Baltic everywhere else, including this blinking studio. Might have said that before. It's cold. I have got a great sea hat on in the studio. Normally in the studios at the old beer cellar studios, we're underground. And they're usually absolutely roasting. It's usually broadcasting in a t-shirt. In the old farmhouse studios, oddly enough, it's Baltic. It's like it's the 1800s. And we're sat around with woolly hats on, trying to keep warm. Snuggling up because it's like body heat's the only thing that's the warmest thing for about miles and miles and miles. Indy's, the trail dog, is in great demand at the moment. 35 kilo hot water bottle. Oddly enough, nobody complains when he jumps on him at the moment. They just want a cuddle. Right. So our riders on the way along the long draggy climb out of the upper village, heading up towards the high point. Mr. Young just on the back here with Mr. Stevens. Yeah, shortcut. We actually had, generally when riders join you from the sides, it's because they were sent off on the wrong direction by somebody, by the computer, and it's having to rejoin them. The Zwift glitch gets to them and sends them in and through. So, in with Jason Stevens, our fantastic Red Beacon. A big thank you to everybody who's volunteered to be beacons in March. Really looking forward to seeing everybody back on those Red Beacon juices. Looks like Chris Jones just tucking in with Jason Stevens here. So good to see Mr. Jones nicely on board as well. So Russ just putting the message out. Let's get Red Beacon back on to the back of the bunch. The shout coming out from Russell. Looks like Mr. Jones with a 0 watts, 0 power, and on a dropout on the way out. So there we go. Just coming down the side. I tell you what, I love the helicopter shots when we're in Mercurial. Don't use them all that much normally, which is a bit of a shame because it really is a great route for it on a lot of the area. It's not too wooded. Once we get dense woodland, obviously the cameras don't tend to work. So our red beacon just closing in on the back of the group. Let's get a quick heads-up view from our red beacon. We'll actually take the full-on. This is what you would see on the way in and through. And you can just see looking pretty good. Jason Stevens at the moment. Looks, do you know, he looks just like his avatar. Looks exactly like him when we've got him on the screen at the start. So the red beacon just got about 4 or 5 people, about 3 seconds back on the yellow, and just making his way in and through. You can just see them on your screens coming around over another of the elevated wooden bridges up over the river here in Mercury Islands, part of the Mercury Islands expansion, which includes now the Urukazi and the Neokyo expansion. So a very popular one. Still doesn't get quite the same numbers as Watopia, but definitely the second most favourite world of people to use. France coming in generally third at the moment in terms of usage, and a lot of the others trailing a lot further down. Crit City still gets quite a lot of use for racing. Bologna gets very little use. It's probably the least used of the courses, along with Yorkshire, and that is mostly because Yorkshire's so blinking hard. So, riders on the way through, taking the long sweeping right hand bend here past the traditional Japanese bridge. They're going to be heading out towards the country in a moment. So, going to be heading down past the pens where we started off, as we've just done one full lap. The the last Bologna was great, one of our best. I have to agree. I love Bologna, says Tom. So a bit of a group forming around our bus, including Keith Richardson, one of our winners of the Continental tyres. So whipping the way down. Bologna's actually I think it's a really good run because you've got that finish line on the drop down, so there's a chance to chase groups back. Now, is the red happy with that group? I think this group of red is trying to get back in at the moment because of the speed that they're doing. They are pushing on quite hard here, but they haven't left anybody out of the group. So at the moment, looking good. And I reckon they're going to get on there. They are coming back at a rate of knots, just rocketing in and past Miss Cookie. Good to have Miss Cookie on board. So Miss Cookie, I know is out doing her own thing tonight, but riding around on the course, probably still recovering from a certain Mr. Hawes's party on the weekend. So just jumping in with red. Here he comes. The gang is almost back together again. We are going to get across the line. Big thanks from our red beacon. Saying thank you very much. Just about on. Don't just speed up on the front just because they've almost got back on the back. Blow my neck. Here he comes. So let's get that helicopter up. You can get a better idea of the gap at the moment. It's still there. It's just a few seconds. See if they can get right back into the pack before we get to the end of lap 1 proper. I think if anything, he's going back out again, that gap. So around the right-hand turn, remember this is lap 1 of 4 that will be complete as they come in to the green banner here. So this is lap 1 of 4 complete. That means it will be 3 laps to go. 3 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen, on the Donny Chaingang here at the end of February. And you know what? Seeing as how we've got another lap done, let's give away another set of tires. So, we have our random number generator running. Our red beacon chasing on to the back. We're going to just keep an eye on our riders with our fantastic helicopter shot, which is very handy indeed. Let's ping up the screens and let's pull across into our giveaway for our next giveaway. Now, if one of the people who've already won are pulled again, if their number comes out again, which could happen, then don't forget, it's one rider, one prize, so we'll move on to somebody else. It has happened before, it can happen again. So time to press the stop button. I have no idea where that is going to be, where it's going to happen, and whether or not it will hit anybody who is already hit. Who knows? It's going to be, 49. That means brand new tyres for Miss Cookie. There we go. Miss Cookie, a winner of a set of tyres. She's out on the ride somewhere, trying to work out where. We'll find out. But winner of some Continental tubeless ready all season brand spanking new tyres. The one and only Miss Cookie is going to be taking those away. Now we are going to go try and find Miss Cookie. I know she's out on the ride somewhere, but where is another matter. It could be a little bit tricky to do so, but Miss Cookie going to get those tyres. May well find her by the sneaky option of the companion app. It's very handy at times. Just doesn't always make life easy when you're trying to find somebody. But Miss Cookie, who I have seen riding around, is going to be the winner of a set of brand spanking new tyres, courtesy of the team at Continental, and a massive thank you to Shelley Charles & Co. for making sure that our riders are on there. So that is 4 out of the 5 sets of tyres that have been won. Great to see Miss Cookie there, and we've been loving the pictures from Andy Hawes' party of lots of the gang members getting together. In fact, I just saw Andy Hawes on screen, and I'm hoping Andy's in here. Hope you had a nice party, buddy. Not young anymore, now half a century old. Over half a century in for Mr. Hawes. No more riding in his 40s, now 50 plus vet. And of course on that Pinarello, so on the way in and round. So let's take a look. Joe Jarvis tucked in here from the Aeonian race team. Good to see you in here. We've got Isaac Oliver in, Mr. Goodwin, Leon Goodwin in, Steve Wilson on board, Callum Craig back in. So we've got Ruth Taylor riding once again. Seen Finn Davis on his way through, Mr. Warsdale in there. Tunnicliffe in as well, just working our way through. Neil Carey tucked in here. Tracy Seeley, the Terminator, is tucked in here. Claire Richards, another of the Aeonian race squad, also joining in the fray. Neil from the Crosscast from Gritty in here as well. Andy Singleton, Jim Flynn, Miss Ridley, that's Alan Parsons. Chris Canterman here, Dave Fulton, Taylor Leach I've seen on the way through. Chris Morrie, definitely want to watch out for as we go a little bit further down. So Rodney Fink in here as well. I think we've got Ian Bailey, Simon Runnett, Simon Oxenham, Mr. Lowe. Oh, got a dodgy avatar sat at the back, going nowhere fast. Good to see Darren Topless in here. The group all snaking its way in and around. So the bunch currently racing the train, but not for much longer, because It's not all that far before we take a turn back and away. So we missed the first left, and we take the second left-hand turn. That will bring us back up on to the hillside a little bit further. Keep on climbing up. So, sharp left. Oh, Claire Richardson. No, it's Claire Richardson, not Chris. Claire's faster. More stylish on the bike too. And finishes further up the Chaingang road, to be honest. On the way through, no offence, Chris. So taking the right-hand turn. Gang on the way through. And looks like the red beacon just been coming off the back. I'm not surprised the pace it is going. Tom Mazzoni plays better than Chris anyway. Do you know what? For a change, I'm agreeing with Tom Mazzoni. What's going on? There's the world spun the other direction. So Jason Stevens just going to drop back here. So it looks like Mr. Robertson going to have some company. I mean, he's pushing on to 2.9 watts per kilo here. It's not like he's hanging around. Yeah, Jason doing a great job as red. Dropping back and looking after our riders, which is, well, that's the job of the Red Beacon. That's what we ask people to do, look after the group, look after our riders. And that's what we're getting. So Jason's saying, let's get the red bus going. Let's get it rolling. Very good. That's what we like to see. It looks like Chris James on his way from Ilkeston CC, just coming out the back of the pack. I think Chris actually lives not far down the road from where I am. It's just south of Sheffield, actually. In fact, I probably walk past his house with the dog fairly regularly. It's that close. In fact, looks like Vin Donohoe heading back for the bus as well. He's also a rider who's in the book. And here we go. I knew if we waited long enough. This is the one and only Miss Cookie, one of our winners. Get your own fanfare and everything, Miss Cookie. Of those pairs of super duper, very jealous completely. Very, very jealous completely. Of those tyres, the GP 5000 CR, Julius Reddy, because Miss Cookie is a tubeless fan, all season. So well done to Miss Cookie, who is one of our winners, courtesy of Continental. Right, let's jump across to our red beacon, and Miss James just been distanced here by them. It looks like he's dropping to 0.1 watts per kilo, so just easing off the back and away at a hard ride at the weekend. So just seeing a few riders being skittled off the group. I know Vin's going back for the bus. Looks like Carl Johnson now just having lost ground. I suspect that bus will be picking him up on the way through. Simon Oxenham right in the back of the main group at the moment, and this group is absolutely motoring at the moment, just coming up for 30 minutes of riding. So Keith Richardson, another of our winners on the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. And the guys who keep the show quite literally on the road. Tucked in here, another of our another people who look after the gang and allow us to make sure that we can put the time in to look after all of our riders on the way through. Big, big thank you to everybody. So here we go. Simon Oxenham just tucked on to the back here. Slight rise, of course, before we take the left-hand turn and start descending back down again. Going to be an interesting finish, this, with that downhill run to the finishing line. So Marty Davidson in here as well. Jimmy Allen tucked in. Has Jimmy changed his kit? Yeah, no, still in that fantastic Mondrian kit. I wonder if Mr. Lindley's still wearing it. Can't believe he actually went to apologise for wearing it. Jimmy doesn't have a copyright on it, you know. Right, big group, big gang. Let's have a look at how the riders go on. Yeah, I think saving an anvil could be one of the wisest moves people make here. Now, this is our bus. The bus rolling along. 4 on the way through. So you can see Mr. Robertson, Mr. Donahoe, Mr. Stevens in here. Carl Johnson also tucked in. I think Leon Goodwin actually is not all that far off jumping in the bus as well. I'll tell you something, that is a cracking bus, isn't it? Great to see it motoring, and so many of these riders will hold that steady pace. I mean, they're still motoring at 2.5 watts per kilo here, plus, but brilliant, really motoring the way down. Let's take a little bit of a run up for Mr. Kerry, who's tucked in with the group down top of us in here, and the horse keeps Richardson, Mr. Evans, Higginsbottom, Taylor, Hudson, Crawley, looks like Jimmy in there, Mr. Breen. Joe Jarvis, we've already focused on. Ryan Crawley, you can see Ryan in here as well. So coming around the long sweeping left-hand turn. Take the next left, and that'll take them around on to the elevated walkway on the way through the elevated bridge coming through. So great shot as the riders come in and over the top of that bridgeway. So you can just see the riders nicely tucked together. So over the top of the bridge we've gone, and rocketing up the speed, really picking up to 52 kph on 53 kph on the way down. So the front group nestled around Russ. The red bus is in and rolling. I think we're up to 5 now, in fact. If we take a little bit of a look back, yep. Bus is a bus of 5. Could we have a record bus tonight? This is a tough course, and one that if you climb well, you're going to find yourself loving. If you don't climb well, you're probably not going to find yourself in the main group for very long. So here we go. The riders on the way down the descent here in the chasing group, or in the bus. This is the pack coming in and through towards the village once again. Red bus is looking absolutely cracking, to be fair. It's probably one of our best buses for a while. That wood is 43 too young, he says, hoping. You just wish, Mr. Woodward. So that pack absolutely flying along. You can see just dropping down and in and now to the village. Really holding some serious speed here, 57 kph. So currently at 35 minutes of running. Don't forget, we want one more set. One more. Who's going to win that last set of tyres, as well as the bottles, courtesy of Continental, who have looked after the members of the DCG gang this month. Absolutely massive giveaway. There's no official RRP to these tyres at the moment, and it does mean that we don't actually know exactly how much they are for you to go out and buy. But fortunately, our members are not going to have to go buy them. So in through the last of the villages we go. This is the final run in towards the line, in towards the country sprint. everybody looking pretty smooth together. So here we go, taking the snaking turns into towards the country sprint, just running in with Tom Lindley. Going to take that left-hand tightens up a little bit as you come around here. No worries about getting around the corner though on the gang. So I guess we've got Tracy, Foxy, Joe Jarvis, Ruth Taylor, Claire Richardson, as well as Miss Cookie out on the ride today in the on that female leaderboard. The men's leaderboard coming in and through. Of course, it's an open leaderboard, and then there is the women-only leaderboard. So through we go. Another lap done. 37 minutes in. Do you know what? Should we give away another set of tyres? It's 2 laps to go. Sounds like a great idea to me. Question's going to be, if we do that, are we going to manage to do that before the trigger point? Let's hopefully let's see if we can do that. Let's see if we can get one more set of tyres gone. Now, you know, score. You've seen this twice already today. This is the 3rd time of asking today, and it's the 5th time. So the all-season Grand Prix 5000s in either black or tan wool, 25s or 28s. Proper racing size, old school tyre sizes there. Going to be available to a member of the DCG gang, along with 4 water bottles of our bidons. The question is going to be, who will it be? Who will be our last winner? We've had lots of high numbers actually today. Will it be a high number, low number, somewhere in the middle? We're going to see. It's a number 16. So number 16 is going to be James Forbes. So James is going to be the 5th of our winners. Well done, James. James Forbes, winner number 5. So that means that we have as winners of those Continental tyres, in no particular order, we're going to have Tim Cooper, James Forbes, we're going to have Keith Richardson, Richard Samuel, and Miss Cookie. They are our next winners. Oh, brilliant to see. A massive, massive, massive thank you to the team at Continental, to the guys over in Aberystwyth and Cambrian Tyres. Make sure you jump onto their website and go have a look at all the latest. Get a new website come out from them. So let's jump back in onto the final ride of Continental February. Can't quite believe it. A quick reminder, if you just joined us and you didn't hear the plea from me, if you are going to be if you're a monthly member, if you join every month, then please, guys, please join. Do it before 5 o'clock tomorrow. That way you'll get included in Wednesday's email, which will be the last email this week before we move into next week. Now, next week we'll be bringing you all of the details, but March is going to be brought to you courtesy of the best restaurant in the world ever done. Oh, and the Go has gone. It's from Nonna's. There you go. Go has gone. My goodness, that's harsh. We've only just got it over half distance here, and looks like all of a sudden Russ has decided, you know what, let's have an early one. That is mean. Who poked the bear today? He's been having an easy ride. Look at the explosion. Look how fast this has strung out. You can see the gaps opened up. This was one big blob. It isn't any longer the comet, the head of the comet. Well, you can see the yellow beacon is right in there. And 40 minutes on the dot. Russ going on the time that time. And probably making a few people's day by doing so. And spoiling a few others. Now, Ian Hollywell just trying to chase into that group. Dave Fulton not far off the back. Luke Higginbottom in there. That is me right at the start of this climb. Jason Stevens saying he's glad he's red today. Do you know what, mate? I'm not surprised. What a place to call it. We're on the way up the climb, and look at the riders below. I mean, there are riders on all 3 levels at the moment behind this leading group. because that is how steep it is. You can see them making the way up there. The explosion there, the whole thing just ignited, and all of a sudden you can just see that is a brutal kick. It's a long, long way for our riders to go, but you know what? We always say it ain't easy. It's the Donny Chaingang. Who's it going to be? Who's going to take this out? Mr. Hornsby at the moment is actually off the front with a little bit of gap. Well, the question for me is Hornsby going to have the range? Or will it just be that is the way it is? We will see. As they take the tight left-hand turn here. Hepton, I think, just squeezing over the top. So Tom Hepton onto the climb. Don't apologise, Russ. Love it when it goes long. Really, really causes carnage. So here we are, Tom Hepton now on the front, starting to rip this up. We're starting to see two very distinct groups formed here. This is group number 1 with the yellow beacon. You can see immediately behind group number 2, another big group, and then group number 3 are not that far behind. They're a little bit more spread out. If they get themselves together, this is going to be 3 very distinct groups on the road. So group 1, the biggest group at the moment, what's left of the peloton is that group on the front. And at the moment, they've got a little bit of a gap at Hepton. So just working our way through, I think Taylor being distanced here, which means there are 29 riders in that leading group. 29 riders in the leading group. Then this is group number 2 being led by Ian Bale. They've got Taylor in between. Mick Hawkins is in here as well. Looks like breeding here. Ethan, Mr. Samuel in here, one of our winners on the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club exclusive members giveaway. Jimmy Undertuck's in here. That's surprising to see as well. And Neil from the Crosscast. I know Neil was out doing some mountain bike training over the weekend. So may well be he's feeling the after effects of that. The group steadily breaking and reforming on this climb. Mr. Holwell just starting to be distance here. And that's the push up over the top. Russ here, of course, tucked in our yellow beacon in that coaching works down in cycling kit. Got to dodge the donuts of Mr. Williams on the way through. Look at this group. People like Isaac Oliver in here that we know is highly likely to go for a long one. Finn in here. So Finn Hudson tucked in. Just taking another look in here. Luke Higginbottom in here. We've got Zach Hutchinson, Tom Hepton in, Russ, of course, in here as well. Just taking a look, Nathan from Fellabounce is in here, Phil Oliver. I think Mr. Mazzoni's in. I've definitely seen Mr. Mason in here. Oxenham is tucked into this group as well. Finn Davis in here. At the moment, they are still chasing, and the rider they are left chasing, well, it is now going to be Mr. Mazzoni, who's gone off the front. He's got the gap. Are they going to let him hang out there? We will see. I'm not sure it's not Finn Davis who is going to be doing the work to pull him back here, but it is Tom Mazzoni who's going to see them coming up. Finn Davis, the 15-year-old, going to come in over the top of the pro there and close down that attack. I think the classic counter-attack goes. That was Crawley who went off the front there. He attacked and went clear, going back over the top. Great little move there. Just going over the shorter of the two wooden bridges. So Crawley going off the front this time now. He's got that gap. If you take a little bit of a look back, but that is a big group behind. So Tom was only in here. It looks like Evans in, Byrne in here, Lindley in. Well, this is group number 2. It's going to be very, very close indeed. You're seeing Bannister just using that in there. Yeah, there's some young ones in this group, believe me. Finley Hudson's only 13 on the way through. Some proper young riders. Zach Hutchinson. Now, Zach is proper quick. I've seen Zach out racing in real life as they come in and through. Mr. Burns, the finish, if you're missing, not watching the show, the finish line is the country sprint. You've got 1 lap to go when you hit the country sprint, and that is a long way out as well. Plenty of distance. 1 lap to go when you hit the country sprint. Tom Mazzoni telling people where the finish is. Loving it. Tom clearly has actually read the email this week. Don't forget, the links for Thursday's ride will come out tomorrow evening. So there's the links out tomorrow evening as we just come in through town here. Russ, it's not. Ignore Tom. It is currently the green banner, which is the country sprint, and that will be on the way through. So looks like Leon having got his brother. There you go. Russ has got the hit. Finish at 44.4. There you go. Good to know that Russ has got it on cut and paste. So Zach Hutchinson in here. Taking the right-hand turn. Nicely tucked in this group. He's riding well. 4.5 watts per kilos here as usual. We know Zach's got some quick pace on him. Great to see him in and working well in this group. Up on to the elevated bridge. We're about to come past the pen from where we set off. And that was 48 minutes ago. So it's about going to be about 10 minutes of range. So remember, when we get to the country sprint, it will be 1 lap to go when we hit the country sprint. That is the green banner. So in past the pens we go. The green banner of the country sprint will be 1 full lap to go. We've still got a little way to go. This is the leading group. The gap they've got over the chasers behind has extended. It's 51 seconds. This is group number 2 on the road. So group number 2 looking good. Group number 3 is further 23 seconds back from group 2. 4 seconds behind them. This is group number 4 and 5 because we've got almost 2 groups very close together. They're almost going to form one group, to be honest, on the way through. Group 2 working really well, though. They are, it's about just trying to work to keep that gap down. They are doing a good job, but the leading group of riders, well, this is the leaders. They've got that gap. They are coming in through the village. So our Yellow Beacon group, Dale Williams, just on the front at the moment, doing 6 watts per kilo. He's keeping them honest at the moment. As he comes around this right-hand turn, it's a slight descent out of town. To go underneath the lanterns. He'll be out through the gateway, underneath the arch, and heading for the country sprint. No, but it's a 10.5k lap. It will be 10.5k when we hit the line. That's our green banner. Still a little way to go yet. So Williams continues to push. Nick Murray is currently the rider who's gone after him. He's engaged the anvil, which will work on this slight downhill, and you can see it's worked. He's absolutely rocketed through. Used that really, really effectively there. So nice move there by Murray. If that's a dress rehearsal for the finish, an anvil will help because he's got a left and a right hand turn, and then it will be 1 lap to go when we hit the green banner. Remember, it's 1 lap to go at the green arch. We are on our way down at the moment. It is 1 lap to go at the green arch. I'll say that once more. 1 lap to go at the green archway. You're about to hit it as you come through. If you're in our leading group of riders, Murray can see it in his front view. He's going to see it in his rear view mirror. So 1 lap to go. Last run. 1 more lap to go. Here we go. One rider leading. 6-second gap. Can he make this count? It's a brave move trying to hold off the Chaingang behind, but Murray doing a good job at the moment. He's had some great finishes so far. Can he make it today count? Sure, I've got the squeakiest chair in the studio ever. It's great. It's proper squeaks. Never think. Right. So, Nick Murray on his way through. Green banner is the finishing line. We've just gone through it one last time, says Russ. 2 right. No excuses. Now, let's see how we're going. Nick Murray, 5 seconds. Finn Davis chasing. Looks like the work is being done here. It's the Bond of the RAF Typhoons at the moment in the red and blue on the right-hand side there. Just took him back in behind the group. We take the left-hand turn. So through the riders come. Here we go. That gap's still there. Mr. Bond is still opening it up. Very interesting. I will see. He's Bond chasing Murray. Has he got the power to do so? He was doing some work now. Russ decides he's going to go across. I think Nick Murray and Russ would be a great combination. You can just see Russ has sprinted clear. That's the way to do it. Make these big sprinters work really hard by having to chase down these groups. Don't just tow them across. Russ has sprinted across, and that means that they're now going to have to work to come back. Basic road race tactics. Drag a big group across, you're just helping them out. So around this right hand side, not long till we're going to get in the village. Now here we go, coming across. I think Lindley's trying to get across without dragging everybody across, but I think you're going to see a full-on response by the group behind, and they're going to be on now. Lindley's going to make it without dragging the group. They're not quite in his slipstream, but the group has responded. They don't want to let Lindley go, or Downing go, or Murray go, so this group is back together again. You can just see them getting caught on our fantastic helicopter overhead shot here. Russ reabsorbed into this group. This is your leaders. So hitting 36 kilometers. The time is ticking, and it's not going to be long before we're back on to this 3-loop ascent. So in we go, the camera just dropping down with the riders up over the bridgeway they're going to go, and the gradient starts to kick in. We're currently at 3%, it eases and then it kicks again here. So you can just see we're on to this climb. You know, just try and keep a check of those riders. It looks to be like that's Mason on the front, getting the power down at the moment. So looks like Gareth Mason, but look at this big kick coming off the front here. Finn Davis has gone hard, and he's provoked a response here. So Finn Davis, the youngster from was gone out in front. Lindley, though, has seen the move and has gone over the top. We're going to see a Lindley solo here. It's a long way to go, but it's certainly not impossible. Davis is behind. We're on a little bit of a dip that's on this little roller coaster round. We're just trying to stay in front of Lindley as we come round these turns. So currently it's Tom Lindley from Finn Davis, Russ Downing, Tom Mazzoni, Evans, Oliver Hepton, Hudson. It's a real who's who back there, but Lindley has them gapped at the moment. Oh, yeah. So Lindley about to get pulled back here once again. You're just seeing a feather being employed here. I think by the riders coming up through now. Another move. This time it's Hepton. I tell you something, there's more attacks and counter-attacks than we saw in Kern Brussels Kern. If you haven't watched it, Watch it, absolutely brilliant. Great race over the weekend. Some great classics racing over the weekend. Strada Bianchi coming up at the weekend. News that broke just before we went on air is that we were not going to see Wout van Aert take it to the start line. So there'll be a number of teams rather pleased with that, but Jumbo Visma is not looking like they need any assistance from Wout. He can sit out the first half of the Classic season, and I don't think the team are going to be that worried on the early form book at the moment. Now, who's going to do a winning ride? Who is going to be a Stefan Van Baarle? Are we going to see anybody solo clear? They've got limited amount of time left to do it. Remember, it's a downhill run in. It's going to favour a group. It could well be. It's one of our big sprinters who can put out pure big style power and massive watts as they come through. Message board as quiet as I think I've ever seen it, and that is just due to the sheer number of people who are just hanging on at the moment. Mazzoni is at the moment on the front trying to open up a gap. Simon Oxenham is closing him down. So at the moment, Tom Mazzoni from St. Piran on his way through. So St. Piran from the Cornish squad here. Tom Mazzoni leading them out. Hornsby, Oxenham, Mazzoni, Leon this time. Ryan Crawley, Isaac Oliver, Russ Downing, all trying to keep in touch at the moment, not wanting to lose that wheel. If you get distance at this stage, it's going to be really hard to stay anywhere near. Now, Finn Davies just goes over the top of Nathan from Valabance. It's like Taylor Leach in potential trouble. Warsdale's gone. I think Higginbottom has gone. So a number of riders distance. It looks like the pressure that's on is definitely doing some damage. Finn Davies having to do a lot of work to try and get in. I'm not sure he's going to make it. That group looked to be going away, not coming back towards him. Taylor Leach is going to be coming up on the wheels of Finn at the moment. This leading group all back together again. No real gap opened up on the front. It is there, but it is not enough to take this all the way to the line. Mazzoni has got the gap, but it's 2 seconds. It's a downhill running, and there's a group. And he's got the youngster after him. We've just seen Hutchinson on the chase. Then just seen Finley Hudson going up. Another of our youngsters, only 13 years old. Mazzoni, though, dropping down here. Now, can he be closed down? That group are at 4 seconds, and it looks like the bear has finally decided to get his claws out. He's going to start growling. He's on his way. Is he going to pull them back? It's down to 2 seconds, down to 1 second. Is Downing going to pull them back, or is he going to bridge across here? I'm not sure they can hang on to the tail of the bear as they come down here. And they needed to be hitching a ride with Russ there. But now we are starting to see riders throwing in some of the power-ups here. And I think we are going to see a great move coming through. And I think Hutchinson managed to put in a power-up on the way down. So is Hornsby. They are currently leading this descent out. You can just see, though, the whole group is behind them. So this is the leaders. Another power-up going in this time. Who's going to have it? Is it going to be Hudson? It's not. And I think it's Phil Oliver, but Phil is not going to get any benefit because we are not at a steep enough descent at the moment. It could have been that he was just struggling and wanting to try and get every little bit of help he could. So our helicopter just up in the air, giving us a great shot of this group as they come sweeping down. You can see the riders moving through. Finley Hudson goes up on to the front. His right shoulder is going to be young Zach Hutchinson, who just goes over into leading the light grey jersey on the red Tron bike. Then it is going to be Hornsby who goes through. They are all over this road, but nobody at the moment is able to open up a decisive gap. Well, this is going to be a group sprint. Great debate on GCN at the weekend about what constituted a group sprint and what constituted a bunch sprint. I have to agree, kind of anything less than 20 is a group, anything more than 20 is a bunch. or if it's the vast majority of the peloton, that counts as a bunch sprint. I don't think anything that's maybe even 30, to be honest, is a group. Depends on the size of the original peloton. But out of 100 riders, I'd say you need at least 30 for it to be a bunch. Now, one man who can sprint, it is Mr. Mason, the fat cyclist himself. Will it be Mason's day here today? He's got the firepower. Has he got the timing to seal this on the way through? He's got the watts. Has he got the seconds? This is a fantastic ride by this leading group. Russ putting up on the screens. Great gang. Mr. Mason says he hasn't got the timing. Is that no to power or no to timing? We've heard this before, though. So not sure we believe him. I could always switch allegiances and go jump on somebody else for a bit. You never know. So it's the Donny Chaingang. You're dead right there, Russ. This is very, very fast indeed. Now, we come past the pens. We go through one village. We then drop down in towards the country sprint. Time to decide who you're going to be backing on the way in to this finish. Are we going to see a quick sprint? Will it be somebody like Ryan Crawley? Will we see Isaac Oliver manage to take the worm with a well-timed attack? Are we going to see one of our youngsters able to wind us up? Will the bear take it? Certainly a possibility. So you can just see our helicopter tracking these riders. They start to make their way down in towards the village. The group not breaking up. They've got over a minute now to those nearest chasing group behind. So the nearest group currently at 1:23. That is the group with Neil from the Crosscast. There are about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 riders in between Group 2 and Group number 1. So 10 riders who have been spat out of Group 1 and currently being chased by Group number 2. And they include Nathan from Velobats, Finn Davis, Taylor Leach, Mr. Wasdale, Higginbottoms and Taylor. The front of that group, well, Neil just breaking a little bit clear of it as they come in and through, but you can see the pressure is on now. Another attack has gone. Leo Mazzoni's gone off the front of that group, so Mazzoni's gone for an early kick here. Can he make this count? They're going to have to answer this. You cannot let Leo Mazzoni go. Leon has kept quiet. He lets his legs, not his mouth, do the talking, and I tell you something, you don't want to let him free, or with this distance. You can see the green banner on the map on the top right-hand side. Russie's trying to close down. He's at 4 seconds, 3 seconds now. Finley Hudson is helping a little bit here to bring them back, and he's going to be burning a lot of energy. But now we're just starting to see the anvils come in as well. Finley's used one. I think we're just seeing Williams come up over the top. Now Oxenham has gone. Has Oxenham got the timing right to take this out? He is going to be leading in. But look at them, they're queuing up behind. The numbers are absolutely massive. Lindley has gone over the top of them, and I think Lindley has got the timing right here. He's gone early, he went over the top, but they're coming quick. Birdie's on his heels, Burns coming for him. They're going to get rolled, it's going to be Hornsby. Hornsby takes it at the last minute. What a ride by Hornsby. Where did he come from? What an acceleration. Hornsby comes through from Byrne, from Lindley, Mazzoni, Williams, Murray. Hepton, it's going to be Mason, Oxenham, Hudson. And what a finish. Absolutely blisteringly quick. At one point, it looked like Liam Mazzoni had him on the ropes. They didn't just come back up. They knocked him out and put him out of the running. What a finish. That was absolute carnage. Wow. That is some run in. Love that route. Please, can we have that again, boss? Russ, bring it back. We need that again now. Next run in. Nathan from Velobants going for the quick coming in and through. I have to tell you something. I think I had about 15 finishes as favourites for that on the way through. Nathan's gone. Finn Davis is coming over the top. It looks like Davis is going to hold this. Is Taylor Leach going to roll him on the line? Oh, Finn Davis just takes that. Taylor Leach almost gets him. Then it's Nathan from Velabats. Next up will be a Warsdale. I think he's got 12 seconds on Higginbottom, but I tell you something, Higginbottom hasn't got much. So Warsdale's going to be our next finisher. Now, we're going to go back in to Neil and the gang here. This is the next run for the line here. Who's going to take this as they come in? I think it's going to be Mick Hawkins who's going to come through. It's Hawkins who just takes that sprint out of that group number 2, and that is definitely group 2 who came in and through there. So that's our second group. Next up is going to be Tom Hagger. Hagger has a little bit of a gap back to the Dixon group, and this is going to be a big old finish. Can Claire Richardson finish it off in style? I think she's going to be our first female finisher on the way in. They come in and through. Now the sprint has started early. Who is going to take this out? Who's got the firepower? It's about pure Watson timing here, so you need to have big watts. You've got to get good timing as you come in to the kick. Get this right. You will fly through the group using that draft. Here comes the run for the line here. This is the kick. Forbes has it at the moment. Remember, Forbes one of our winners, but Malin is going up over the top of John Garfoot. Garfoot gets it. Yes, what a ride. That was great riding by John Garfoot. Claire Richardson comes through as our fastest female finisher, and Mr. Forbes is in there as well. And don't forget, James Forbes, a winner on the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, but draw, as well as Dick Samul. Great riding there as they come through now. Going to try and catch our next riders in by the finish, and I suspect it is going to be Mr. Varty who's the next rider on course. He's got a gap, so Rob Varty not finishing in the leading group. Unusual that Rob Varty with the kick, but look who's coming up behind. You can see that they are chasing hard here, and looks like it is the Terminator who's done a lot of that running. He's got company, Wharfdale Phil going in over the top. These three have got a gap. Now, Seeley needs to jump into the wheels here. If she can kick now and go with them, she's going to be able to use that. She's got anything left in those legs. They've got a gap. Chris Canham is coming at speed. Canham's got a fantastic sprint on him. So has Ambler. But I think Wharfdale Phil and Rob Varty are going to drag straight this to the line. It's going to be Varty who's going to get it. Then it's going to be Wharfdale Phil. Then it's going to be Ambler, Canham, Gale. Tracy Seeley is going to be more Wildy. It's going to be Dick Ball and Priest. I think will be the next group. So the Singleton group will be our next group. So this is Singleton, Clark, Mason, Foxy's in here. The one and only Lisa Jane Late, one of our regular riders on the WOW DCG and on the DCG as well. And this has Ruth Taylor, Joe Jarvis, all in this group. So this is going to be about that sprint for the line. We're coming round the turn. You can see Bobby Mason tucked in here now. The wind-up coming from Sean Ferron. So Ferron is leading this out at the moment. This is our run in, though. You can see that that green banner is not far away. It's just round this right-hand turn. Who's going to get it in the three at women's sprint? Taylor is at the back of this group. Foxy's winding it up on the front here. Will Joe Jarvis be able to go over the top? She can. And I think it's going to be Jarvis. Jarvis almost takes the sprint out of that group. Taylor's going to take second place. And then it's going to be Foxy in third place in the women's sprint in amongst that group. Massive bunch coming in now. Not sure I'm going to be able to call all this little line. It's a huge group coming for the line here. Now, Callum Crabe winding it up. It looks to be like Lowe's got the little bit of a gap. Is it Topless who's got the gap at the front here? Topless has got a gap here. Has he got enough distance? I think Darren Topless is just going to hold on. It's going to be right. Oh, he takes it on the line. He's got it there. He had the gap. The sprint came from the group. Andy Hawes coming through. On the way through with Alan Parsons in there. Lots of our regulars in that group. Andy Keyworth makes his way in and through the line next. Tell you something, these groups are coming through quick. Now, next through is going to be Mr. Lee. We're just going to take a little bit of a run back because we are going to see, I think it's going to be Leon Goodwin, and it's going to be Carl Johnson and Jason Stevens. They're our next three riders, but a little bit of a gap back to those riders. And in theory, that is going to let me have enough time, if I've done my calculations and I've actually got where everybody is out on the course correct, to do a little bit of housekeeping. So, fantastic finish on the Chaingang. That's what it's all about. Brilliant riding. The bus formed early. Loads of riders getting lots of support. Blasting its way in. Great finish as we came in. Absolutely mad to call that on the way through. I'm looking forward to trying to watch that back, see if we actually got it right. Great to see. Don't forget, all this is possible by the support. It's made possible just by that support of everyone who donates. So if you just donate randomly when you can, thank you very much. If you donate for a month, thank you so much. And if you donate to the end of season, thank you even more. Because you guys, you just keep the show running. We just couldn't do it. We couldn't devote the amount of time it takes to keep the show rolling, to keep the membership, to look after it, to try to make sure that we get rid of spam box, flyers, Muppets, you name it. They all get binned off one way or another. So please, guys, do keep donating. Don't forget that we are back tomorrow. It's the first ride in March. Now, if you remember, you've got that WOW DCG link in your membership, but you have not, if you are a February member and you have not rejoined for March, got the link for Thursday. That comes out on Wednesday evening. Please, 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 please join on time. Make my life marginally easier. Make it simpler. Make yours easier as well, because you don't then need to register for the ride as well. Really do appreciate it. Don't forget, of course, March, it is up there in the orange box. It is Nonna's. And I've got a good idea of what's coming out. You don't want to miss out. Going to be great fun. And hopefully see a lot of our riders in at Nonna's. Now, let's follow our next rider in to the finish. It is going to be Mr. Goodwin coming through. So Leon Goodwin just coming round these turns, looking good at the moment in here for the LCC. Nice pedal cadence, 94 revs per minute. And got a slight right, tight right, and then in and through underneath the gantry. So Goodwin will be our next finisher on the Chaingang. So in towards the banner he comes. And in and through underneath the green country sprint arch. Job done, well done, buddy. Which means that we have got Mr. Stevens, Mr. Johnson out on course, as well as Miss Cookie. Now let's feature Miss Cookie first. Why not? So let's have that little bit of a check. We're going to feature Miss Cookie first. Miss Cookie, a winner of our Grand Prix 5000 AS tyres, a constant supporter and one of the real characters of the Donny Chaingang. Got to say a massive thank you to Sarah, who's out and riding. You can see her just over there, out and on the spin. And Miss Cookie going to be getting some tyres. Don't forget, of course, all of our riders will be sending you out an email. It'll have details of how to get in touch with Shelley and to claim your prize for our 5 sets of winners. So I know Miss Cookie is going to be spinning around enjoying the ride. So we're going to let Miss Cookie focus back on the riding. While she does that, our next rider we're going to feature is going to be, as long as we can get on to our rider, it's going to be a certain Mr. Johnson. So Carl is our next rider, and Carl making his way in and around, looking good at the moment. Another of our regulars on the Chaingang, and it's great to see he's in the company of Jason Stevens, who's done an amazing job on our red beacon today. Really, really impressive job. They're just about to come past our pens, so making their way around. They've actually done 4 full laps of the circuit, but of course there's the start loop, which normally takes you to that countryside sprint, 2.4k, which is how far they've got to go. So just over 2k for our 2 riders who are on the bus heading in and towards the finish. Now, A few other bits of housekeeping. Tomorrow it is WOW DCG, Women's Only Wednesday, Donny Chaingang. Remember, we only have March left on the WOW DCG. We finish it slightly earlier than the Open Chaingang. The WOW DCG finishes at the end of March. Boo hiss, I know. But does mean that if you want to ride it, if you're one of our female riders, jump on, make the most of it. We have got an absolute blast tomorrow. We are going to downtown Dolphin. We have got some absolutely amazing beacons. We have got a flat out route. There will be 18 laps part of the ride. So it's an 18 lap ride, finishing at the finish with the traditional go at some point. And that's going to be under control of our yellow beacon. When that go goes, then there are no rules to the end of 1 lap to go. The last lap will be a warm down. Last lap will be a warm down. So the finish is at 1 lap to go tomorrow. It is not at 0 laps to go because that gives us no warm down. We can't follow our riders through. It causes carnage here in the studios. It causes carnage on the ride, and it does mean that we can't get back and cover everybody. So there is 19 laps in total, 18 laps of which will be 18 laps will be the ride, 1 lap will be the warm down. You heard it here first. That is tomorrow. If you're not riding, and 50% of the population can't, guess what? You can watch it. It's going to be live on the Donny Chaingang Facebook page, on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel, on the Full Speed Events YouTube channel. Don't forget, whilst you're going online and subscribing to one or all 3 of those, to go give us a follow. It is really simple. It's there. Full Speed Events. Get onto social media. Follow me. It's Matt Fix a Pain. Follow Emma, Biking Emma. Whilst you're on there, make sure you give Russ a follow and jump on and look at that Bike Flex page. Russ, of course, with lots of different parts of the bike trade working in and with him. So make sure you dive on with Russ. Now, let's go back to the ride. Let's bring home our last riders on the Chaingang on the show tonight. That is going to be Carl Johnson and our amazing red beacon. Now, this could be a good sprint because Carl Johnson has got a proper kick on him, and so has Jason Stevens. We know that they're going to be competitive for this last bit. Who is going to take this out? Will it be Carl? Will it be Jason? Will they just roll round arm in arm, looking deeply into each other's eyes, telling each other how amazing they are? I don't think so. I can't imagine we're not going to see a sprint from them on the way in and through. Remember, it's the run for the line. They're going to see that Gantry. He's getting wound up. Jason is winding it here. Now, is Carl going to jump him lastminute.com? Oh, and look at that. He's gone for a ghost. Jason's gone for a ghost. We're going to see the red beacon ghost its way in and through. He got rid of his ghost there. So, our riders coming in through the finish. Well done to Carl. A massive, massive thank you to this man, to Jason Stevens. Great work as our red beacon, and amazing job done by him. Now, as our riders make their way down to the finish, we're going to let them go warm down to our blue banner. Reminder, register, join online, come and get on a ride. Don't forget, we are bringing you the Chaingang. It's here today. They're going to be on WOW DCG on Wednesday. Thursday is going to be the Donny Chaingang. We are broadcasting on Sunday, the first of the qualifiers of the Sunday Race Club. You need to follow us. We're not going to advertise that on this platform, but you do need to follow us on social media for the details. Big prize money, scary amounts of money being paid out to ride your bike on the esports platform. That's Sunday. In between, lots of work on the studios and lots of prep work for what is coming up. Don't forget, of course, congratulations to our riders who have won as part of Continental February. A massive thank you to Shelley Charles and all of the team in Aberystwyth at what has been a tough start to the year for many of you. We're all thinking of you. We are absolutely loving the prizes. I can't wait to see those tyres on people's hoops and out on the roads. And don't forget, of course, we're going to be back tomorrow. Jump in, jump on the Facebook pages, stay safe, enjoy your riding from me, Matt Payne, from everybody on the Chain Gang, from our gang who are out and finishing out the side. Stay safe. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.